guys, Welsknight here, bringing you another brand new episode in my Total War Attila campaign basic series, and in this episode we are going to be covering trade and diplomacy, which are two very important things for managing your campaign. So, first and foremost, to actually access your diplomacy, you click this little button right down here, and that will bring up your diplomacy screen, which will show you all the various factions that you have discovered, what their relations to you are, any pre-existing treaties or wars, why they like you, all sorts of things. So let's kind of run through these. So right now I'm playing as the Eastern Roman Empire in a brand new campaign. And you will see that I've got quite a lot of factions on my list. Each of these little things represents things. You will see... Let's just kind of maybe pick the Allans. So the Allans, they don't actually own any territories. They're a horde right now. I am at war with them. That's what this little sword represents. And then we've got some trade things here. The white means that you can trade, but you are not yet trading. The red means that it is not possible for you to trade, and the green means that you are already trading. In order to trade with a faction, you need to have a route established, such as a port or a land route, to one of their cities as well. Then if we continue with the Allans, it's got their relations and their attitude towards me, what they like about me and what they don't. You will see that they like the fact that I am at war with the Huns. That gives me a slight diplomatic bonus. However, there's a bunch of things that I'm doing that they're very not too happy about, such as being at war with them, for example. So, overall, they don't like me very much at all. Then, we can also compare with someone like, for example, the Western Roman Empire down here, and they really do like me. We share a cultural affinity. We're at war with a common enemy. All sorts of various things like that. We are already trading with them. And then you will see some treaties here as well. So, some of these various icons. This is a military alliance. It means that you have access to their territories and you will back each other up in war. That's what this is. This is you are at war. This means that you have a non-aggression pact, which is basically just an agreement to not attack each other. This little chain thing, that's a puppet state. It means that they are basically a faction that gives you a tribute, and then you agree to defend them. They also lose most, if not all, of their diplomatic abilities. They cannot start wars or anything along those lines. So, let's look at the Western Roman Empire and look at the initiation of diplomacy. So you can see some already existing treaties. We've got a military access treaty, we've got a trade treaty, and a military alliance. If I wanted to cancel one of these treaties, say I wanted to cancel the trade, I could just click on this little X to cancel it. And then it would say, do you want to end your trade agreement? And in this case, I don't want to, but that's how you could do it. If I want to make a new diplomatic action of some sort, I click on Add Offer and Demand. And what offers are basically what you are offering them. Demands are what you want from them. So, for example, if I say Cancel Alliance, that would... Oh, that's a bad example. Let's say Break Non-Aggression Pact with. So you can see I've got non-aggression pacts with some of these factions, and they've got some non-aggression pacts with these factions. So say I wanted them to cancel their non-aggression pact with the Franks. I could tell them to do that, and then it gives me down here the likelihood of success. And that's very important because that will basically tell you whether you are going to be successful if you make this offer. If I say go ahead and do that, moderate means that they may or they may not accept it. Low basically means that there is no way that they're going to accept it. And high means that generally they will accept it. So we're at a moderate chance right now. And they will go ahead and accept that. But basically you get the idea. You can kind of tweak your diplomatic options as time goes on by, doing things that they approve of, giving gifts, things along those lines. Another important aspect of diplomatic relations is call to arms, and basically what that means is that an ally is under attack and they say, hey, come help us. So, you have two options when you receive a call to arms. You can either enter the war and help them out, or you can decline, in which case any military alliance that you have with them will be broken. So we will go ahead and enter the war on the side of the Western Roman Empire. We will then take on any of their enemies as our own enemies, and we'll have to kind of fight with them. When a faction declares war on you, you'll get this little pop-up right here. And basically, it will show you a list of all of your allies and what they think of the two factions involved. So my allies, they like me because we're allies. These guys, they don't like very much. Then it will also show our opponent and who their allies are. So there's the Ostrogoths, and they really don't like me. They also really don't like the Gepids, and that might come in handy later. When you're declared war on, you can call on your allies to help, but you don't have to. You can also choose not to. You will see that it will modify this little balance of power indicator. So I would, in this case, call on my allies for help, and you'll see the Gepids are now at war with all of these factions. One very important thing that will help you get ahead in your campaign when it comes to diplomacy is making use of counteroffers. You can see I've received an offer here from Armenia for an arranged marriage in return for a payment. So what I can do is I can make a counteroffer and say, I'll take the arranged marriage, but I'm not big on the payment aspect of it. And now you can see they've given me a counteroffer saying, well, we'll still do it, but for half the gold that we were asking for previously. So then I could make another counteroffer as well, or whatever it may be. But I think I would be fine with that. So by making use of that counteroffer, I save myself a little bit of gold. You can also use it in the case that someone wants a non-aggression pact. You can say, hey, we'll do a non-aggression pact, but you're going to pay me X amount of money or whatever it may be. So there's a lot of options there. The counteroffer system is very, very important. Now we're going to jump in to the trade portion of this tutorial, and there's another separate window for trade and finance. So let's open that up and go to the trade section. There's a list of a whole bunch of different goods available in the game, such as olive oil, lead, dyes, gemstones, all sorts of things, and each of these resources can be found in various provinces. By controlling those provinces, you then start producing those goods and you can export them. You can also import goods, even if you have your own supply, if you will. And that will be what generates trade income. So, the more goods that you are importing and exporting, the more gold that you will receive, the more valuable the trade relationship is. And you can see that broken down here, all the various factions that we're trading with, what goods we are importing, and what goods we are exporting to them, how much it's worth, and all that kind of stuff. As I said earlier in the tutorial, in order to trade, you need to have some sort of trade route. So you can see we've got this city right here, and you'll see this little yellow dotted line, and that's a trade route. That's a sea-based trade route going through Constantinople and all the way to the Western Roman Empire over here near Italy. And that trade route is worth a fair amount of money. So you can see we've got, if you a little mouse over tooltip, and it will show the value of the trade route there. If you put a navy on the trade route, you can start actually getting some of that money for yourself. If it's another faction's trade route, that can be very useful. It's also very important to defend your trade routes for that reason. You can also establish land-based trade routes. So, for example, if I was trading from Constantinople, I could trade with anything here that could be marched to on land. So, for example, up here, Sirmium. I could trade with Sirmium because there is a direct connection through my territory that I can get to and trade with. And that's basically trading in a nutshell, and that's basically all I've got to say, at least for now, about trade and diplomacy. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. If there's anything I missed or you have any additional suggestions, please leave that in the comments down below. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time. So, we'll head back up. I do have to say, this quest is definitely a little bit easier since I don't have power, because I've been in combat pretty much this entire time. If I was on a different class,